What's up guys, welcome back for another Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. Two titans are paired up against each other. Invoked versus the other powerhouse here. Again, very interesting matchup, and let's see which deck will eventually come out on top. Right, the first list doesn't need an introduction. Invoked with, and that's I think one of the advantages that this particular Invoked list has, is main decking a lot of hard counters to the format and to basically any deck, at least for the most recent decks. Right, Artifact Sanctum and Sight, right, immediately blocking your opponent from using the extra deck. Dimensional Barrier, Maxi, you know those power cards. Metalfoes on the other side, they should be Billy Breaks list, also a very strong list, having access to Kirin, being one of its boss monsters basically, and let's not forget the access to Cyber Dragon Infinity thanks to the Clifford engine. So which deck has the advantage? Not really sure, it feels kind of 50-50, although I think Invoked should have the advantage for the most obvious reasons. I think, again, Dimensional Barrier, we saw that this was a game winner against Duels, and it might also be very solid against Pendulums. Well, it will be solid, but the deck still needs to draw it, right? But Artifact Sanctum, again, a hard counter to Metalfoes, Maxi as well, and getting those extra draws. But yeah, still, Pendulums might be, well, they can play around that, but still, it's if I need to pick a deck that has the advantage, I think, yeah, Invoked should have the slight advantage over, over Metalfoes. Anyway, the game, first game, I get to start immediately opening with the Wind Witch engine, very solid, although the opponent does open with Maxi, so that's very problematic. I don't want to give him too many draws. Maybe I should have gone for Stardust. I think I was able to go for Stardust, but that would have given him another draw, right? And because of Dimensional Barrier, I just opted to go for the Fusion Summon, to go for your Rage in, potentially put a huge threat from your opponent like Lithium face down, and of course, and I can just sit down or sit on the Dimensional Barrier and lock my opponent from using the Pendulum Summon basically. Now go for Stardust Dragon, quite good against Metalfoes, right, interrupting their destruction effects. Go for Makaba and still having the Rage in on my side of the field, and very safely can set MVP being the Dimensional Barrier, and yeah, with Stardust on the field and with Dimensional Barrier set, it's just a matter of time that I'll be winning. It's just Dimensional Barrier, right? Dimensional Barrier, just call Pendulum, and that's basically your win condition already. Yeah, I eventually managed the, what is it called, the Archfiend-Eccentric. I believe Dimensional Barrier only negates phase-ups, if I'm not mistaken. My apologies if this was a misplay, but in the long run, it's not going to matter too much. Making the fire, what is it called, you know which one I mean, the fire Invoked, attack all monsters from your opponent, dealing massive damage. So, game number 2, the opponent gets to start. That's a decent start, I guess. Again, I do have the Maxi, so if he had like Clifford into Infinity, well, Nova Infinity, that would have given me a couple of extra draws. The Dark Hole is kind of decent, but against Major Spectres, quite useless. But here, very delicious play. Maybe not really sure if he saw what was coming, so drop the Clear Wing, and Clear Wing is like an immediate answer to both Alchemist and the Major Spectre Kirin, negating both, I believe, a monster lower than level 5 and a monster equal to level 5 or higher. So both negating the Alchemist and the Major Spectre Kirin, and now he doesn't have an interruption, so I can freely go for Crystal Wing and put double Rage in on the field. And now how can I lose, right? Especially with Dimensional Barrier 2.0 being the Artifact Sanctum into Artifact Sight and block my opponent from using the extra deck. Here I completely forgot using Sanctum during the standby phase, but again, it's not going to matter too much. Better late than never using the Sanctum, and I can just put every fusion from him face down, right? So going for Makaba, and again, this is more than enough to go for a game. So already a swift, a very easy 2-0, but again, it's best out of 5, and this is still not game, right? So game number 3, the opponent gets to start, and the Ghost Ogre was very crucial. He was able to use the Clifford Scout to potentially search out the other Clifford, and again opening up the Cyber Dragon Infinity play. So the Ghost Ogre was definitely needed, since, yep, indeed, he was able to put up or set up his Pendulum skills, so he would have been able to go for Infinity, right? Basically an extra negation. But anyway, Metalfoes on the field isn't really a threat. He potentially does have the quick play spell for the fusion, so going for Algeist. Yeah, Algeist is definitely a good move, since now I don't have an Alistair in my, well, graveyard or on my side of the field, so I can't go for the fusion summon and Compulse. And nope, Compulse is not going to be enough. If it was Sanctum or Dimensional Barrier, I definitely would have survived here. Unless he had multiple fusion summons ready. Yeah, probably. I probably would have survived, but nope. That's sadly not the case. Compulse was forced out, and he still has the oh-so-broken Pendulum mechanic in, or at least pre-Master Rule 4 ready, and he's just able to basically return from a different dimension from your extra deck to your side of the field to special summon those multiple Pendulum monsters in a deck for a game. So 2-1. Game number 4. I start off again quite decent, but sadly no Alistair. If I would have been able to special summon, or yeah, normal summon Alistair, getting an extra Surge, Wonder Wanted, that definitely would have been game over. GG, well played, but nope, no Alistair, so only have an indestructible Crystal Wing. And the deck can definitely play around it. I mean, they have Kirin, they have the Algeist monster that can just take control of it, or attach it, right? Very similar to Thousand Eyes Restrict, so, but then again, he needs to force out the effect. He draws Emptiness, so normal summons Bombuku. I opt to negate Bombuku. It's of course not destroyed, but I think negating it was better. I think, but again, correct me if I'm wrong, since he always would have been able to search out my Spectre Kirin, and Kirin was always able to bounce or potentially force out the Crystal Ring as well, so... yeah, okay, Crystal Ring is forced out, is able to make Metalfoes. I do get a couple of draws off of Mexi. I don't think he was able to go for a game, but he deals massive damage. And Metalfoes, or thanks to Metalfoes, is able to bounce by the Crystal Ring. And finally, I mean, man, come on, where are the Alistairs? So finally get Alistair on the field, and he already preemptively flips over the Emptiness, and I think I do play a couple of Twin Twisters in the main deck, but nope, sadly don't have any of those. And yeah, it's just the Emptiness that keeps me out of the duel, right? That's how it goes with the Emptiness, and I was just far too low to make a comeback. So the also important game number 5, I have to start, right? I have to start, and delicious opening hand, ending with the Crystal Wing, some extra burn damage, using the Terraforming, go for the Alistair first turn, of course, with Rage in, but no hand trap, I think, but yeah, again, Rage in to put something face down, and the indestructible Crystal Wing to negate any monster effect, so again, very solid. He's able to, yeah, indeed, was he able to search out the Cleaforge card? Not really sure, or did he already have one? Not really sure. But yeah, anyway, he's going for the Battle Summon eventually, but the problem here is I can still put him, put his Archfiend Eccentric face down, so I can still negate any monster effect. I have to negate the Rescue Cat, or Rescue Rabbit, indeed, Rescue Bunny, from activating, since that he would have been able to go for Utopia the Lightning, and Utopia the Lightning is definitely an answer for Crystal Wing. And Metalfoes, nope, it's not an out, he doesn't have enough targets in his graveyard to go for Metalfoes, and okay, he does go for Algeist during his turn, but nope, I do have multiple negations ready, like, well, where do I begin? Crystal Wing, Makaba, and Rage to put something face down. So yep, this is instantly GG for, yeah, for Invoked. So I think we have a well-deserved winner here, with, yeah, Invoked going on here in the, at least on the left side of the bracket, and it will face off Chaos, also pretty much an underdog deck. But next matchup, as you see here, completely on the right, finally the small finals, I guess, we have PK Fire versus Monarchs, right? Mega Monarchs. So like always, feel free to leave your predictions for that particular matchup. Which deck is going to win that one? That deck will move on to the big finals, and the loser from that deck will take on, here on the left side, the winner of Invoked versus Chaos. So one extra duel. Again, just to prolong the video, as in no spoilers, he gets to start, and again, having the Ghost Ogre to get rid of the Cleaforge Scout. Not really sure if it does have enough cards to eventually set up a skill. I don't think so, right? So that's a very lackluster first turn move. But yeah, my opening hand is quite good. Already having access to Alistair, well, 3 Alistair, right? So getting the Elders to search. He does, of course, having the Maxi, but only getting one draw. That's all fine. Most importantly, getting the Makaba on the field and potentially negating either a monster effect or a spell effect. So again, very, very important. And also having Maxi. So just in case if the opponent is able to get off multiple special summons, I do get a couple of extra draws in the process. And of course, drawing, or at least giving me a bigger chance of drawing into those extra counters to his potential big field. But yeah, not really sure if he did have any other options to play around this, right? The banish in the Metalfoes fusion was very important, and the quick play fusion spell card wasn't able to activate it since he did set it this turn. So yeah, again, well-deserved winner. Invoked will take on Chaos here, and the next matchup, like always, feel free to leave your predictions. PK Fire versus Mega Monarchs. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.